make the playoffs, and they almost did just because of him.
The only thing I know about the Fire, at least as far as recent news, is that they started their season like last week. Or
yeah,
something.
They lost to the Los Angeles Galaxy 2-0,
and I know David Beckham played on the LA Galaxy.
He did, and he retired.
All I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's pretty much the extent of my soccer knowledge.
Yeah, well, now you know Mike McGee won the MVP award for them in the 2013 season.
Okay, so. Yeah, 2013 was the last Chicago MVP, and
and
who knows when we'll see the next one.
Yeah, he's a Chicago native too.
Oh, well, that makes it a lot
even better.
Yeah.
He's a Chicago native. You could have made an argument that Patrick Kane could have been the MVP this year had he not broken his collarbone.
Yeah,
he was leading the league in points.
I'm assuming the next Chicago MVP will probably come from the Blackhawks, and it'll either be Taves or Kane.
I wouldn't be shocked if someone on the Cubs can do it soon. Yeah. Maybe Abreu, too.
Yeah, Jose Abreu, Anthony Rizzo, maybe Jake Arrieta or John Lester.
Yeah, I don't know about them winning that. Maybe a Cy Young.
Cy Young,
about MVP.
Yeah. Chris Sale could win an MVP, but that's unlikely too.
Bryant or Soler.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but
that's a few years down the road. I mean, Abreu, it's realistic this upcoming season. However, it's unrealistic because Mike Trout is in the league.
Yeah, I'm thinking the next MVP from Chicago will be a Blackhawk. So
as long as they can stay healthy, because Kane was leading the league in points. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm pretty sure his MVP votes just went away with that injury. So talking about the Hawks, they're going for their 40th win tonight. We also there's been no new news about the Patrick Sharp rumors. I don't know. I'm not sure where people are getting their sources from, but there hasn't been any news about it. Yeah, since people started calling out sports mockery, they've kind of laid low on it.
There hasn't been any news, and everything's lovey-dovey over in Blackhawk land, so I don't know. We'll have to see if anything comes of it. I don't think so, and I mean Sharp hasn't been playing that well, but that's not why. I mean, he hasn't been playing well just because he hasn't been playing well.
Yeah, he's been ever since the January. I think he scored 1 goal since January.
Yeah, I think I said this a couple weeks ago. He has the lowest shooting percentage that he's had in his whole career.
At least he's shooting the puck. I mean, at least that it's not like he's just playing terribly. He's shooting the puck. It's just not going in. I mean, eventually it will, because when I was at the game against Calgary in early December, he scored his 9th goal.
Okay.
And
he only got a couple since then.
He has 10 on the season now.
Okay, so he only had 1 since then.
Yeah. He does have a lot of assists, though. That's one thing. He is racking up the assists. I mean, I think he has like 10 less points than he has games played.
Right. And, of course, we didn't really have a chance to talk about the acquisitions that were made on the NHL trade deadline a couple weeks ago, but the Hawks have 3 new players on their team, and they've all been playing pretty well.
Yep, they have. Antoine Vermette got the winner in a shootout against Edmonton.
Yes, he did. I saw that. I was watching that game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that was actually the day the Fire opened their season, and one of my friends is a huge Fire fan, like diehard Fire fan. He loves them. So I was watching the game with him, and it was actually halftime at the game, and then the Hawks were actually in the last minute of overtime, so we watched that in the shootout, and then after saw the post-game press conference with Crawford since he had such a great game with the 46 saves.
Yeah.
Then it was time for the second half to start again.
Yeah, so that worked out good time-wise for you, for sure. Yeah, so they've been the Hawks. Did they win their last game or lose their last game? Was their last game the Calgary one, or was it? Or is there one in between? I'm trying to think because
they lost to New York 1-0 in overtime.
That's what it was, and that was on Sunday or Monday. Right?
Yeah, boy, I can't. I feel.
I know that they've been off for
that's
a while.
Like the 4th game this year. They've lost 1-0 at home.
Yeah, that can't happen.
I mean, I'm sure people going to that game spent a lot of money since it was a Sunday game, an original 6 matchup, and a Sunday game original 6 matchup again, and the team that lost in the Stanley Cup last year. I mean, it's probably a lot of money, and then the Hawks lose 1-0 in overtime.
Yeah, that's
and
sad.
They got outplayed. I think the Hawks had 27 shots on goal, and New York had 37.
Right, and New York, I heard, has been playing really well of late. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was the backup goaltender for the Rangers. Henrik Lundqvist is still injured.
Okay.
So it was Cam Talbot. So it wasn't even their starter. Their elite top goaltender wasn't even playing, and the Hawks got shut out. I mean, they've been having trouble scoring since Patrick Kane went down.
Right, and I mean, it's expected, but, I mean, the Hawks still have one of the best teams in hockey.
Right, and
should be able to be okay without Kane.
In the game against Edmonton that they won in the shootout, 2-1, they scored their first goal with like 5 minutes left in the game. Seabrook scored.
Yeah, he scored on a long shot from way out there.
Yeah, I'm sure the place went nuts just so that they could see a goal and not another 1-0 shutout.
Right. Yeah, the game I went to against the Pittsburgh Penguins,
they scored one goal.
That was Hjalmarsson had a goal in the second period, and then in the beginning of the third period, Pittsburgh tied it up, and then the Hawks won in a shootout,
scoring 3 times.
Yeah, Taves, then Kane with the really nice moves, and then Sharp, I think, had the final goal.
Yeah, in Kane's career against the Pittsburgh goaltender in shootouts, Marc-Andre Fleury, he's 3 for 3.
Yeah,
I'm sure that Kane's like the nightmare he doesn't want to live. I was actually at the game. It was the year after the Hawks won the Stanley Cup, and it was like a big game because it was like the hockey day in America, and it was like the big game of the schedule because it was the last 2 Stanley Cup champs with the Hawks and the Penguins, and the Hawks won 3-2 in a shootout, and Kane beat Fleury really bad in that one. Every time he faces Fleury, he's got Fleury on the other side of the net, and he's got a wide open net.
Yeah, for sure. It always he has trouble with him, and as you said, 3 for 3. So
yeah, and I think Taves is 2 for 3 against Fleury, and Sharp's 1 for 3. Yeah, I mean the funny thing is earlier in the season when they played Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, the Hawks won that one in a shootout, and Kane and Taves both scored in it.
Nice. Coming up after this break, we're going to talk all NFL. We're going to be talking about the NFL, all the moves that were made a little later on in the show. After that, we're going to transition to the NBA and some college basketball, too, the Big Ten tournaments at the United Center. And as I predicted last night on Twitter, I knew Michigan would beat Illinois to make all the Illinois fans upset, and it happened. And so Illinois' chances of making the tournament are very slim now, and Northwestern is playing as we speak. We'll get you updated on all that. For the update, you're listening to Sports Renegades, SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.